Hey guys, and welcome to our third episode of our STEAM Lab series. I'm Drake.
And I'm Sabrina.
And today we're going to be focusing on an experiment involving engineering. And Sabrina's going to tell you more about engineering.
So, first let's talk a little bit about engineering. Engineering is the process of designing and building things, buildings, systems, processes using math and science. The people who create these things are called engineers. They use their brains to problem solve and create things that benefit us as a society. So, think of things like elevators. Elevators make it easier for us to go upstairs. Elevators were designed by engineers. The chemicals that we use to preserve foods were designed by engineers, and that makes food last longer. Even just vacuums is engineering that makes it easier to sweep your house, and a little bit cleaner too. So there are four basic kinds of engineering. Civil engineering, which is things like buildings, bridges, roads, stuff that we use all the time. Mechanical engineering, so think like cars, elevators like we said, even ovens and microwaves to heat up our food. Electrical engineering, so that's things like computers and phones, like what you'd be watching this video on. Even like your video games and the AC and heat that you use in your house. And then there's also chemical engineering. So that's stuff like bubble gum, food preservatives, medicine for when you get sick. All of this stuff is designed by engineers to make our lives easier. They spend their time inventing things and using their brains with math and science to do things that help make life better for everybody, which is awesome. Today we're going to focus on civil engineering. So we're going to use our brains to try to figure out the best way to use materials like spaghetti and wooden blocks and books to see how much we can hold up and what kind of problems we'll run into and how to fix them the same way engineers do in their work every day.
For your experiment, you'll need a box of spaghetti. And you'll also need two objects that you need to stack beside each other so that you can create a bridge using your spaghetti. I used nice little blocks here, but you can use anything that you have in your house or anything you have around. Like here at the library, I have some books. So maybe you have two stacks of books and you will use your spaghetti to go across these two piles of books. Now we're not only going to do horizontal building with this spaghetti, we're also going to do vertical. And for that, you'll need a stack of styrofoam plates, or maybe an old box. Maybe you just moved and you have a box with some styrofoam in it. Use a block of styrofoam. You also will need a second stack to put on top. So let's get started. Now let's start with our vertical experiment. And it's pretty simple. All we're going to do at first is take each piece of spaghetti and poke it down into the plate so it stands up like that. Now it's going to take some time. Well, sometimes your spaghetti may break, so be gentle while putting it in there. But one at a time. Let's try again. We'll stick each piece of spaghetti. Again, this may take some time. How about let's speed this up? So I'm having a hard time putting the spaghetti noodles in the plate. So it might be a good idea to pre-poke holes, maybe with the end of a pin or anything that has a related size, but a little more sturdy than spaghetti. Okay, so it's holding something up, something really light, just one styrofoam plate. Let's experiment. Let's do some trial and error and see what happens if I put one thin little book on top. Very slowly. All right, so not putting more weight on it. It's a lot for these spaghetti noodles to take on. Now let's see, I probably only put about 20 in mine. Let's see, what do you think would happen if you put like 200 in yours? It might hold up some more. You do some experimenting to figure it out. Now it's time for our horizontal experiment. So you'll take the two stacks we talked about earlier and put them not too far apart to where the spaghetti won't be able to fit on it, but just perfectly to where it doesn't go off the edges and it looks like a nice little bridge. So I took a small handful, about like this, and laid it across, and for right now, I don't want them to be stacked on top of each other. I just want them to be very close together, flat. Okay, I feel like I need some more. And again, we're going to use trial and error and our problem-solving skills to figure out how many pieces of spaghetti we need. Remember, one layer for now, because we're going to experiment to see how we can adjust if this doesn't work very well. You can use anything to stack on top of this to test your spaghetti bridge. I'm going to play a little game at the same time while I'm stacking my bridge here. I'm going to play some Jenga. Let's speed it up. No. She's gonna shatter it. It's gonna be like an explosion.
It's gonna be so funny.
Oh no, this is it. This is it.
No, it's got it. She's good. The noodles didn't break.
But the noodles didn't break. So the Jenga experiment didn't work out the best. However, it did not break a single one of our spaghetti noodles. And that's kind of the whole point of this, right? Maybe I need to try something a little heavier, but not as tall. Maybe some books. So I've reconstructed my bridge, and now that I have, I think I'm gonna try to use some books, and we'll do it one at a time to see how many it takes to break the bridge. So as you see, my spaghetti didn't break, right? However, the bridge didn't quite make it. Why do you think that happened? Well, I'll tell you what I think. I think it's because I used these and I stacked them as one piece each. However, if I took some tape or some glue and taped these all together to make one big unit, maybe it wouldn't have started detaching and tilting as the noodles sagged. Just kind of like when you're building a bridge, you need mortar to keep the bricks together or to keep the bridge solid so that it can be one big unit. Now you notice that the spaghetti started bowing pretty early on and stacking the books. So theoretically, if I would have kept stacking and the sides of my bridge would have stayed secure, the noodles would have eventually broken. But I'm still pretty proud of how high we got, yeah? Thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope you enjoyed doing our experiment today. Now, as you see, it doesn't always work out the way that we thought. But if we analyze maybe what we did wrong or the problems we had during our experiment, we'll just try it again, and maybe it'll work better the second time. I hope you guys have a good day.